Good morning, students. Today we have to start the next article, Bohr's theory of hydrogen atom. What do you mean by Bohr's theory of hydrogen atom? Niels Bohr, a Danish physicist in 1913, proposed a new model to explain the stability of an atom. He extended this model further by applying Planck's quantum theory. He made the following assumptions in his postulates. There are three postulates. We have to see one by one. First postulate first. What is this postulate? An atom consists of a very small or heavy central part called nucleus, in which whole of the mass and positive charge of the atom are concentrated. The negatively charged electron revolve around the nucleus in closed circular orbit. The centripetal force required for rotation is provided by the electrostatic force of attraction between the positively charged nucleus and the negatively charged nucleus. This explanation we have drawn the diagram. Using this explanation, this is the circular path of electron. This is nucleus charge Ze. This is electron revolving around them. Connect these electron. There are two forces applied. First one is centripetal force and the second one is electrostatic force Fc and Fe. The electron move in circular path, that is velocity v or escape velocity. This is the atom, this is nucleus, this is electron revolving in circular path. This is postulate first. What do you mean by notation? M means mass of the electron. This is the charge of electron minus E. M is mass of the electron revolving around the nucleus. Z means atomic number. E means charge on electron. V means velocity or orbital velocity of the electron. R means radius of the orbit. Radius of orbit. And Ze is the charge on the nucleus. And epsilon naught is the permittivity of free space. And its value is 8.854 into 10 raised to power minus 10 force per meter. The electrostatic force of attraction between the nucleus and the electron is Fe is equal to 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught into Ze square upon R square. This is equation number 1, and this is the equation of electrostatic force. Therefore, centripetal force Fc is equal to mv square upon R. This is equation number 2. This force, centripetal force, is equal to electrostatic force. These forces are equal, that's why the electrons move in orbital direction. Okay. Now calculate these equations. Therefore, two equations are same. Fc is equal to Fe. Putting the values in this equation. This is equation number 3. What is the value of Fc? mv square upon r square. Sorry, r. What is the value of Fe? 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught Ze square upon r square. This is equation number 4. And this is the final equation of first postulate. Okay, then second postulate second. In this postulate, the electron revolve only in certain specific non-radiating orbit called as stationary orbit. Certain specific non-radiating orbit called as stationary orbit. When the electron revolve in this orbit, there is no loss of energy. Bohr shows that the electron can only occupy an orbit for which the angular momentum of moving electron is an integral multiple if h upon 2 pi. This is the integral multiple part where h is the Planck's constant. Thus, for any given orbit, therefore, momentum of electron is equal to me, mass into velocity. Then, angular momentum of electron is equal to mvr. Angular momentum of electron is equal to m means mass, v means velocity, r means radius. According to above postulate, Bohr theory, momentum of electron is equal to angular momentum of electron. Write this equation: mvr is equal to n into h upon 2 pi. This is equation number 5. Okay, where n is any positive integer having values n is equal to 1, 2, 3 and so on, and is called principal quantum number. Principal quantum number. Okay. For the innermost orbit, n is equal to 1. Then outermost n is equal to 2. Given that. Okay. This is the postulate second. Then third postulate. Postulate third. What is third postulate? Postulate third. When an atom jumps from one orbit of higher energy to another orbit of lower energy, the energy is emitted in the form of radiations. The amount of energy emitted is the difference of energies of electron in the two orbit. Okay. Thus, an atom may emit or absorb energy from photons only when one electron of atom jumps from higher to lower or from lower to higher orbit respectively. Now we have to draw using this statement. We have to draw the diagram. These are the orbit. This is nucleus. This is first orbit. This is second orbit. This is third orbit, and so on. Value of any 1, 2, 3. This is first orbit, second orbit, and third orbit. What is the statement? When an atom jumps from one orbit of higher energy to another orbit of lower energy. Suppose electron in third orbit. It jumps from first orbit. They can radiate their energy in the form of photon, that is h nu. Okay, this is the statement of third orbit. Now write the equation. Let E1 is equal to energy of the electron in inner energy of electron in inner or lower orbit. Then E2 is equal to energy of electron in outer or higher orbit. Then nu is equal to frequency of radiation. Emitted, frequency of radiations emitted when an electron jumps from higher orbit to lower orbit. Now according to this postulate of Bohr's theory, therefore h nu is equal to E2 minus E1. Electron jumps from higher energy level to lower energy level. Yeah. In this process, they can radiate the energy in the form of photon, h nu. Okay, these are the three postulates of Bohr's theory.